Hello and welcome to today's video. Now, today's video is going to be a little bit different. A while back, like earlier this year, I got me one of those eye pencil things. And so I've wanted to try some digital artwork, and way back 20 plus years ago, I kind of alternated between doing 2D artwork and 3D sculptures. And meaning like I would do something and then 6 months later I'd do something different. And it wasn't until the past like 10 years I've really been focused mainly on just doing 3D sculptures. And I've branched out with that by doing needle felting. And then I tried working with the thermoplastics like Warbler and Thebra. I've had a lot of fun with that. And then I've also dabbled a little bit with a 3D pen. And if you watched last week's live stream, you saw I did another monster with those, but otherwise I've only done like 3 things with my 3D pen. But I always like to try out different things, and I thought, doing digital artwork would be a lot of fun, and I could do some of my characters or kind of create new characters in that platform. So today I'm going to take my iPad and my iPencil and try out some digital 2D artwork. Alright, so I went ahead and charged my iPencil, and then I've downloaded this sketchbook app. Now, I will be totally transparent with you, I have tried it out. I wanted to make sure it would work for what I wanted to do. I want to make sure I had a time-lapse option, so that way I'm not showing this in real time. And I also wanted to give myself a little experience with the different tools it had, since I haven't used anything like this other than one time I messed around on my daughter's iPad and did like a little sketch of a Ninja Turtle. And then on this one, I've probably done less than 10 just little sketches, nothing too detailed, just to see, to get the feel of it and kind of, learn the basics of it. I didn't want to do this video with no knowledge of the app, but I also didn't want to wait 6 months until I was actually, proficient with it. Kind of somewhere in between, so you can kind of go on this journey with me. Hopefully this works, to do 1 or 2 of these videos a week. And if anybody has experience with the, iPencil and any of the digital drawing, please leave it in the comments down below. Any tips? Wait till you watch the whole video to see how I do, and then you can let me know some things that I could do to improve myself. All right, enough of me rambling on about that. We'll go ahead and get started. So like I said, I'm using this sketchbook app. Load that up, and we'll start drawing. I knew when I got the iPencil, I wanted to draw little monsters. I mean, monsters are kind of my thing. So I wanted to do my own style of little monsters. And when I was sketching out the drawings before this, I did this rabbit, but I made it evil. And I thought, oh, that'd be, fun to do some evil little characters that are supposed to be cute. So I did a Google search and I found this clip art for this teddy bear. And so I used that as a reference, but then I'm putting my own spin on it to make the teddy bear evil. And so I'm starting with the basic teddy bear shape, just drawing out the lines, doing its faces, and then I went ahead and added some eyes that were kind of, more sinister, and then I gave it a bunch of jagged teeth, and then I just finished out his basic shapes and do the line work. And of course I had to go in and give him some dark circles under his eyes, so make sure that, makes him look even more evil. And for some of the future ones, I might even add more, like add claws or some horns that wouldn't normally belong or something like that. But for this guy, I just wanted to try it out and see what I could come up with. Now I went ahead and figured out how to do the layers. So I'm coloring him with one of the paintbrush tools, and I do have that as a separate layer, so that way I can kind of switch back and forth and not mess anything up. And that's something that's, to me, is just amazing with digital art, is to be able to do these layers and move them around and only work on one layer, and that's something you can't do with traditional art, unless you do like how they do animation cells, where they have that cell and they paint it on a plastic sheet, a transparent sheet, and then put it over a background. But anyways, so I'm using the paintbrush tool and I'm just kind of trying to color them in, but I'm working on that layer right now, and the line layer is actually behind it. So you'll see that I'm covering up some of those lines, but later I'll bring that forward. And then I went ahead and chose kind of a lighter tan color for the muzzle and for the ears, and then, or the inside of the ears, and for his little details on his back paws there. So I'm just getting those filled in, and then I wanted to give him some kind of evil demonic eyes. So I'm getting those filled in. And these paintbrush apps, or paintbrush tools, have options to do different widths and like give it a different wetness and transparencies, blurs, all kinds of different things you can adjust. So hopefully as I go along and I do more of these, I come up with better techniques and ways to improve my drawings. And like I said, if any of you guys have tips, let me know. One thing I did when I did the little rabbit as the test picture is I added these jaggedy lines to give the fur, and I thought that really helped make the drawing pop and give it that look I wanted to have. And you'll notice now I move the line art, the black line art, forward so it's the top layer, and it really changed how this drawing looked. It was to me it's a lot of fun to switch back and forth and see how different it looks as you progress on it. So I just went around his entire outside and going around his ears. I went on the inside of his ears, any place that would be kind of like fur, and gave it this really rough texture of all these little lines. And this, took quite a bit of time, but I think it's worth it for the end result. And so I didn't want to do it around the eyes or the nose. I wanted to keep those as smooth as they were. Now I'm just going to go in and fill in some of the colors, some of the places that I missed. I know there's a lot of gaps, and I'm not worried about getting this guy filled in perfect. In fact, I like that splotchy look to him. And then you'll see some streaks go off to the side. That's how I test the brushes to see how they do, because a lot of this stuff is new to me. And that way I can test it, and then I can just do the undo button, and that'll get rid of it, and I don't have to worry about it actually being a mess on my actual picture. Now I chose a little bit darker shade, and I'm going in and adding a little bit of shading detail. And it's, like I said, it's been a long time since I've done any 2D work, and although I do remember some techniques, there's a lot of techniques I forgot. I'm like, oh, should I do it this way or that way? So between this video and the next one I do, I'll probably do some research and some tips on what people recommend for digital artwork and tips for shading and different things. So right now I just wanted to give him a simple background. And so I just used like this spray paint tool, and I drew a line to kind of separate it. And I'm just spraying this light blue behind him with a black around where he'd be sitting. And I thought that line was too thin, so I thickened that up, and then I brought that spray paint tool back up into that, so we'd have a nice contrast between that and the blue. And then I went ahead and moved him forward and finished him up. So here is the finished little teddy bear. I did add a little bit of blood coming out of his mouth. I want him to look more vicious that way. And after getting him done, I thought he looks like those cute stuffed animals that you press the button or press them somewhere and it changes from like a happy little monster to this evil, sinister monster. So I know it's similar to that. That wasn't my inspiration for it, maybe in the back of my mind I had that, but you know, there's a lot of characters. What I thought of when I thought of evil teddy bear is the one from Krampus. I really like that movie, and I really like that monster evil teddy bear in that. So I thought it'd be fun, you know, to do something like that. So I think for now, I'm going to try some other cute characters and turn them into, you know, these evil, sinister characters. And I thought, you know, I could even do famous cartoon characters. I could do other animals that are thought of as cute. So if you have any ideas of what you'd like to see me try in this style, please leave it in the comments down below. And well, that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. And remember, never stop creating. Bye.